Well, welcome back to the homestead. It is going to be another short weekend. Actually, the next few weekends are probably going to be shorter videos. We're working extra. We are, for us in the fall at work, it is fall colors, so we tend to get busy. So we'll be working, I'll basically be working for the next 3 weeks, 6 days a week. So won't get a lot of stuff done here at the homestead, but had a friend of ours graciously drop off some maple and birch for us. So can you guess what today is? It's going to be a firewood day. We're going to wait to do the door on the woodshed or the addition that we did to the woodshed until we get the vent fan and stuff like that all set up, because I don't want to put the door on it and then have that door be swinging around and have it be left open when we want to run the generator. So I think what we're going to do is just wait, get the vent in, get all that before snow flies. We'll get the door on, so that we'll finish that door at a later date, and at the same time we'll probably do a door for not only the woodshed, but once we get the bugs worked out of that design and how we're going to do it exactly, then we'll do that for like our doorway up to our stairs, and then our bathroom door. Right now we're just using a curtain on a rod to kind of block the bathroom off for privacy, but it'd be nice to get a formal door on there. So I'm going to get this. Let me flip the camera around. And of course, Shadow's got to smell everything because it's not from here. But yeah, so I'm going to work on some of this. I'm not going to film a ton, but I think what I'm going to do is, a while back, I'll probably share with you, we did kind of a walk around. I started up by the house just to kind of show you where things are at. And actually not much has changed since I did that walk around, and I haven't used that video yet. So I might, depending on how much I get, if I get any other projects done, I might throw that in here just to kind of give you an idea of where things are at, what we got left to do. We still got more trees to take down and stuff, but that walkthrough kind of does that. We walk through there and I got video of that. So, but I'm going to work on some of this firewood, and we'll bring you along on some of it and see what we need to see what else we can get done. So just so you know where we're at, there's the woodshed there, the dump truck, the house, the big shed or barn, however you want to look at it. We haven't quite come up with a name with it, so if you got a suggestion for the name, we'll take it. It's not really a pole barn. Everybody wants to call it a pole barn, but it's what they, if you want to be technically correct, it's a post frame. So, it's not your traditional pole barn where they use poles. It's actual, construction lumber. But let's take a look here and see what we got. As you can see, the pile by Shadow there's quite a bit of stumps there that I pull everything up by the stumps that you're seeing. But like that one there, I could get on the sawmill and get some one bys out of it. That one underneath there, that one there, but like these are just going to be firewood. This one, it's split pretty good, so that's going to be firewood. So I might be able to get a 9-foot, 10-foot section off of that one. So that might give me enough to finish that one side, and maybe enough to do the other. But we still got to drop this group of trees here, and I'll probably drop them here. I'll leave this one. Let me see if I can get out of the sun here so you guys can see a little better. I'm going to probably leave that one right there, and then take everything down kind of beyond it as a straight line that way, and everything over that way. So kind of to leave somewhat of a tree buffer. We talked about back in here building another pond, since it's always kind of wet in here when it's been rainy, that we might build another little pond or something. We're kind of just figuring stuff out as we go, but that's kind of what things look like back here. Let's actually take a walk around. There's a lot of brush and stuff, but you can actually see here, walk this way, don't step over as many trees. You got a pile of rocks started here. As you can see, they're all stuff that I pulled out, but see, this is real grassy, so this fills up with water quite a bit, and we got a pile of scrub stuff, rocks, dirt, branches and stuff that when we cleaned up the yard. But that's kind of what everything looks like. It's just in the tree, this whole area here gets all wet. So there's not a lot of trees, and some of the trees that are in here are dying. You know, the budworm has gotten a lot. Like this one here's dead, that one there's dead, that one's dead, this one's on its way out. So I mean, there's quite a bit of trees that are dying or dead. Try not to trip, but we got the land of 10,000 boulders instead of 10,000 lakes. We got boulders everywhere, and we got some cleanup work to do back here. But this is what looks like behind the shed or a barn, whatever you want to call it. But there's some cleanup. There's some birch branches we want to clean up. I got to clean those up yet. Those got knocked over when I was knocking this last birch down. But they're going to come out anyways, because that group is going to come out. They're within the 50-foot buffer. I'll probably take that tree because I can get some 1x material out of it. But I do have one. You can kind of see right up in there. Got a mountain ash, and I want to keep that. So that one's kind of leaning, I think. Oh yeah, it is. That's that one that's leaning up. Shoot, I was hoping that was a healthier tree. So it's been leaning for a while. Well, we'll see. We'll see if we can keep that one and keep the one that's leaning up against maybe. But I'd like to keep the mountain ash. We don't have too many of them around. And especially the bigger ones. But at some point, you know, this will get cleaned up a little bit more. We're going to come back with the loader probably next spring and grade this, clean it up as I'm tripping over everything. But get it all cleaned up back here so that we can actually drive around it. Because eventually our sawmill is going to be on the back side here, and then over on this end we're going to do a little bit of an area for drying wood, kind of make a solar heater or a solar sun shed to kind of let light in there, but to hold the heat in a little bit. So we'll do like a polyacrylic panel or something like that in there. But it's going to need some cleanup work. We got some trees next to the shed here that is growing that'll have to be taken out. Got some steel racks that we'll have to move and find a home for. An old portable garage that the previous owner used, and the snow collapsed part of it. And then at some point, when we need more nice firewood, this birch is probably going to have to come down. Not right now, but if we do our future projects with the shipping containers, that tree is going to be probably in the way. But that nice, beautiful one back there will leave. So we're kind of show you where we're at again. Here's the front of the big shed. Sawmill's there, our saw stand there, greenhouse, our shipping container. Jody's been digging out some furniture in there, but that's a beautiful tree. And in the fall, it just gets beautiful color. It still looks pretty healthy. So that one we're gonna keep as long as it is gonna stay alive, and it's not, as long as it's safe and it's healthy, we'll just keep it. Starts dropping, then we might have to look at cutting it down, but for now I want to save it because it's just a beautiful tree. There isn't many of these old trees left on the property, and as you can see, most of them were smaller. But we'll kind of take a walk. Actually, let's go this way. We haven't taken you guys this way. Some of you that have been watching our channel for a while, here's the outhouse that we moved. To this day, we're both still shocked that it made it here in one piece, and right now it's become kind of a storage shed for some stuff that we got to find a home for. We don't know really what to do with yet, but this is what we call our loop road. This is going to be a future trail to make for like camping spots, you know, for tenting, campers, you know, RVs, that type of thing, for friends and family that want to come up and visit. They got to have kind of they'll have their private space, you know, away from the house. You can't see the house from here. We'll get this stuff cleaned out of here at some point too, and just kind of dress up, get rid of these burn all these stumps up, and just get it. This was one of the spots we started to kind of get it cleaned up, but this will eventually go all the way around, back around to the driveway with it. We'll put a gate on the other end, and this is our other end access to the pond, because when we were first digging the pond, it got to be too steep for the dump truck to try to climb out. So we made this trail in on the other end of it, and it makes a nice little hiking path, nice little walk path. When the water is high, this is the only way you're going to get to the side of the pond. Right now the water is back down to where it's averaging, but it's been built up. You can see it drops off a little bit. This was built up quite a bit. There was a hole here that we filled in. It was a big ridge here that we knocked down, so just to kind of make it a shallower slope. And there's enough room. I mean, before the pond, the water used to back up all the way to here. This is kind of the grade, and then it went across about where the grass line is. So all this we've dug out, or actually more than that we dug out. But the pond has dried up quite a bit. As you can see, it was all the way up to here. That's where this washed out because of the water up against it. But it's okay. You know, I think over the course of time, that layer of that gravel layer that's in there will eventually start to fill up with sediment and some of the clay runoff that we get. But it's getting there. We got some ruts to fill in. There's a hole here. There's another hole there where the water, when it was running down here before the grass started growing, it would come in and just, you could see, well, you can see the sediment piles. So I mean, this here was a steeper slope, and it's just been filled in by sediment. You two behave. And grass and weeds are starting to grow here. At least we got something to mow and to kind of contain the runoff and the erosion. But it's still got a couple little tracks that it wants to traverse, but we'll get there. And I think this fall I'll seed it again, just to try to get some more grass growing now that we have something to hold the seed. And we got green. I mean, it's not grass, but I'll take it. It's just something to mow and keep the dirt. There's so much dust, like now it's windy. When this was all dirt and there wasn't any green on it, it would just be nothing but stirred up dirt and dust and constantly fighting dust in the house. This will be a future project. We're going to clean this up. We're going to probably do another little campfire back there, little seating area. When the mosquitoes aren't bad, it's a beautiful place to sit, but when they're bad, you don't want to be there. And then we're back up to the house. Well, I got that all cut up. Let me flip the camera around. I don't know why I turned it this way in the beginning, but that's okay. So all this pile that came in is either over there, cut up and pile, ready to split, or it went into the trailer. So you're kind of probably asking, why the heck am I carrying them from over there to over here? Because I don't know, I'm going to borrow the neighbor's splitter again just to do this, because this birch is not fun to split by hand. So what I want to do is get it all piled up as much as I can, start working on that birch over there. Plus I'm going to bring some of those logs a little closer so that stuff is over here. But I want to have this room to be able to work, delimb. I'm going to try to delimb like the spruce and balsam that are over there. I'm going to try to delimb that stuff. Let me see. Can you see it? Yeah. So that pile of stuff, I'm going to try to delimb all that stuff over there. I might try to burn it there, or I might just pile it and then move it later. But I really want to focus on the birch, because that's probably going to take the longest to dry. That balsam and spruce will dry fairly quick once it's split and opened up. So I'll finish this, I'll work on that, get some of that brought over here, get it in smaller sections so I can move it with the loader. I don't want to move the whole tree. Kind of break those down a little bit and get them over here, and we'll add to the pile, and we'll see. I don't know. Maybe this video, maybe not. We might just be piling it up for this video, and next video we'll be splitting. But I think the next 2-3 weeks, as I was saying before, the next 2-3 weeks we're probably going to just spend getting firewood done, getting that middle bay completely full, and start filling that third bay. I mean, ideally I would love to have all 3 bays done, but I want to get that second bay done as soon as possible so it starts drying, so we're not fighting wet wood like we did last winter when we were still putting up wood in the end of October and first part of November. So we were putting wood up on when there's snow on the ground, so I don't want to do that again. I want to get ahead of it and start, and if we don't burn through as much and we got a full bay left over, that's even a better start for next year, and then we only have to fill 2, but we'll see. We've never had more than 2 bays full, and the last year we didn't have them completely full. We shorted them a row, so we'll see how it goes this year. We're going to fill them all the way up, and so we can get a better judge of what we're burning. And I said last year was the first time we had anything to give us an indication of how much we were actually burning. And these things here, you know, that's you know, 2 of those are a day's worth of wood, for the most part. I mean, so there's a lot of wood here. I'm expecting to fill the trailer up with what's here, if not more than what the trailer can hold. But I could be wrong. I've estimated wrong before. So I'm going to take a break, get something to eat, and see if the old DeWalt saw wants to run a little bit for delimbing. It's just nicer to use. It's quieter. It is lighter. It's just easier to take the limbs off. But we'll see. I worked on it a little bit last night and this morning, getting it all put together. It's running better. The motor is shot. What I found was the motor came loose, and because of that, it started to cause damage to the motor, and so it's trying to skip over those bad spots when it starts. And once it runs, it's running. So it'll have to be replaced. So we're just going to limp it along, and hopefully we can limp it along through the season, get everything done we want to get done, and then we'll look at replacing it before next season. So well, as I said, it was going to be a short weekend. I got one more night after work, but we came down and split for about an hour. We got all that done, about half, a little over, well, I should say about half the trailer load, and I had helped. And then we still got a whole bunch more. So this will fill the trailer for sure, but this is nice. And then once we get done with that, we got that pile over there to work on of birch and all that over there. So, but that's going to be it for tonight. So we'll do a little bit tomorrow if the weather is good. We'll do the same thing tomorrow, see how much more we get done, and we're getting firewood done at least. Hey guys, that's going to be it for this week's video. I got home later from work than what I planned, so I'm not going to be able to get anything done tonight. So we'll end the video here. Hopefully next video we'll get a little bit more work done with the firewood. See if we can get a second bay full, and then maybe a third. So I've got some small projects, but I think for now we're just going to keep plugging away at the firewood till we can get caught up. So, we will see you guys next weekend. Thanks for watching.